Hello, my beautiful Taurus friends. I am so excited to sit down and hang out with you all. And the Taurus energy, it is one of the energies that I absolutely love to check in with and learn from. And aren't we all going to be learning from Taurus this year with the North Node in your sign? And I took February off from doing readings because I was going through a big move, which I have discussed in other videos if you're wanting to know more about that. So coming back here, this is the first month that I'm doing readings where we are solidly in Taurus North Node territory, and that just makes me smile. It's an energy that works so well with me personally, but I think is also so good for the world because this is all about healing, reconnecting to our bodies, being like in this life in a beautiful way. And I know you all are going through probably your own big experiences with the North Node in your sign, with Uranus in your sign. And I know, having spoken to many Tauruses, that having Uranus in your sign for the last few years, and I mean, it's been a number of years at this point that Uranus has been in your sign. It has been a big road the last several years. And I think the North Node coming in here into this conversation for the rest of this year and well into next year is just adding a flavor of support for you as you radically change your lives and as you go through it. And actually, before I get to any of the transits, any of the things, the note that came up for me this month, because the energy is actually in really great flow with you this month. Pisces season is here. There's so much energy moving through Pisces, which is very in flow with Taurus energy. We have the new moon in Pisces. We have Jupiter, Neptune, obviously the sun moving through there, Mercury moving through there. This energy is really in flow and super symbiotic with you. It really can help you to feel more relaxed into the things that you are doing, the things that you are creating. It can help you to kind of release any resistance, any tension you might be holding when it comes to how you're transforming. So Pisces season is a really, really great way for you to connect to your journey, not so much by controlling it, but by relaxing into it. We also have a full moon in Virgo near the end of Pisces season, which is a fifth house heart base. This is fellow earth sign energy that's just going to light up your heart, light up your creativity, be really in sync with you. And then as we get into Aries season, we're going to get into some really deep spiritual energy for Taurus because this is the sign right before Taurus season. So the sun, Mercury, and a new moon move through Aries at the beginning of at the end of the month. And this also, the beginning of Aries season, heralds the equinox, the Western astrological new year. It's a reset time. It is a time of rebirth. It is a time of going into the deep and coming out with greater wisdom. And for you all, Aries season is a time where you tap more into the spiritual, and those gifts and those sensitivities can be really heightened during Aries season. So this is a potent, powerful month. Let's keep that clear. But the message that I wanted to get to before I sat down with you, as soon as I tapped into Taurus energy, is this. This month is about support for you. It is about kind of nudging you in the right directions, noticing how pieces are clicking in. But there's an important aspect to a message like that I think sometimes gets kind of lost in the mix of everything, which is that sometimes when things are lining up and when it's really connective to us, it feels different than we think it's going to feel. We have kind of predisposed sensitivity, I think, in our culture of movies and books and a lot of entertainment to kind of think that when pieces are falling together, it's going to feel like one of those montage moments where there's a really great song playing on in the background and we can see all the parts and pieces and we're like, yeah. And sometimes that does happen. Admittedly, we'll put on our favorite song, we'll be home, we'll be like, yes, got the approval, things are going well, right? But a lot of times the things that are really clicking in and sinking in and like are right for us are quiet, are subtle. And oftentimes because we are biologically predisposed, and a lot of us have been through trauma because life in this physical world can be very overwhelming. We have that negativity bias, right? We're looking for the threats. And so sometimes too, we can almost edit out these little pieces that are there kind of holding us and with us. So what I wanted to say with this is that take some moments this month to, a card finally wanted to pop out. Six of Swords. This one is very popular this month in the readings. Take just some moments throughout the month to think about things that maybe are working with you. You know, they can be very tiny. They can be tiny. There is no big or small really in this stuff. It can be little things. It can be that, you know, you found a new favorite food that makes you feel really good whenever you eat it. It can be that you spend 5 minutes talking to one of your favorite people every week. Nine of Swords. We're getting some mental stimulation going on here. It can be any number of things. It can be something big too. And it can also be about just thinking about all that you have accomplished, all that you've moved through, just taking some time to give credit in those areas, those places that we kind of just take for granted. So it's just a reminder that things are coming together, but sometimes we have to take a moment to actually recognize them, because it's not going to feel like a manic movie montage, and it's not going to feel the way that we think it's supposed to feel when things are going well. So just remember that, and Judgment. All right, we're getting all the classics for this month. This month is really about release. And that's like more of an overarching cultural message, like a collective message. This is about releasing, because we are changing energy. We've been changing energy signatures for about 3 months now, ever since December. And we are letting go of what we were working with, basically 2020, 2021. And we need to do that. We need to release. We need to let go. We need to reset our nervous systems. We need to take some deep breaths. We need to shake it out of our shoulders. We need to do that. And I have to pick up a card because I was putting down my deck, and Taurus, you're going to love this. The card that popped out was the 10 of Cups. And that was as I was just putting that deck down, because I'm going to pull a oracle card from my Oracle of the Hidden Worlds deck to top off our chat this month. The liminal dance, delicacy, fragility, transience. Yeah, that's such a perfect card for Pisces season, and for this doorway between the end of one astrological year and the beginning of another. There's this really luminescent kind of veil breaking apart, flowing in. But this is about letting some stuff go, right? Allowing our bodies to heal, allowing our hearts to reopen, embracing our fragility, embracing our transience. So that's going to be a big theme for everybody this month. So for you all, we're talking transformation. And I think that's the thing too with transformation. It's these little pieces coming together. It's these little shifts that happen, and we often don't notice them. And then one day we realize that we walk a different way to work, that we we realize, oh my God, I've changed my entire routine, right? So let's talk about it. Six of Swords came right out. So leaving behind a familiar shore. This is one of my favorite cards. It's something that just happens in life so regularly, in the letting go, in life, right? We never stay on the same exact shore our whole lives, even if we literally live in the same physical place, right? That we go through a transformation. The place that we're living goes through a transformation. Six of Swords is about leaving behind something that maybe really meant something to you, felt really familiar, but you also know like you've changed, you can't stop your growth. And what I love about the Six of Swords is that it's an embrace of that. It's an embrace of the bittersweetness of it as well, like allowing yourself to feel the emotions around, grieving. Like maybe you feel like a different person. I know I can relate to that. Like I've had some tears over the last few months about people that I have been, versions of myself that I really loved and really cared about that I am no longer. And this is a really important card for feeling your emotions when it comes to how you're changing, not holding back on that front, not feeling like you need to just be in happy mode or in go-getter mode and pushing through mode, Taurus. Not just pushing through, but allowing yourself to feel any emotions that are coming up around that. And, it's interesting too, because Six of Swords for me is allowing ourselves to feel all of our deep feelings when it comes to leaving behind familiar shores or going towards something that makes us a little nervous. And that's where Nine of Swords comes in. That's that nerves, right? What if? What if I'm not good enough? What if it all falls apart? What if everybody finds out that I'm secretly a space blob? That's my favorite. That's my favorite what if question when it really gets down to it. What if, right? Like that is the Nine of Swords energy. And it so often comes up when we're starting a new thing, we're a beginner at something, we don't know how it's all going to play out, we're trying something different, we're doing something different than any other generation's done before us in our family, in our friend circle. That's when that Nine of Swords likes to come in. And it's okay. It's okay to have that part of ourselves. I think we fight against that part of ourselves, the part of ourselves that worries so much. We just want to say that voice doesn't matter, because we want to be warm and inviting to life. But here's my advice. When you're going through Six of Swords, Nine of Swords, right? These feelings, these emotions when it comes to change, we don't want to just push those parts of ourselves away and pretend that they're not there, because they won't just disappear if we do that. We want to actually go toward them and observe what they're saying to us, right? The classic advice of turning into the observer. But I think in being less afraid of our own fear, we are able to witness it, allow it, and then it moves. It doesn't stay stuck. So I think this is important, and that message is just coming through really strong here. And, Pisces season, I do find it's one of my favorite seasons of the year. It's so beautiful. It's so soulful. I always learn something really profound and powerful every single time, pretty much across the board. But Pisces season does ask us to sit with ourselves, sit with this idea of who we are and the containers we are, and find some grace and release and forgiveness. And that is where judgment comes in. Judgment has been coming up a lot in the March readings, actually. And I think it is because we have to find peace with how we've handled the stress of the last few years, how we moved through the energetic transits that have closed out in the last several months, and how we have handled life up to this point. We have to find some peace for ourselves in that, and just forgive ourselves, just give ourselves the love that we need, and just know that we've done the best we could and release the tension. And judgment is so much about release. It's not about holding on to the grudges toward ourselves first and foremost, because any grudge we hold against ourselves is the grudge we're going to hold against other people. And then, of course, if we have any ties, any pains, any hurts that have come up, judgment here is that invitation to release. But once again, if we haven't found that within ourselves about how we've handled things, about how we've moved through things, it's very hard to give to others. So judgment is really about coming home to ourselves, finding that release. So you got three very powerful cards, Taurus, that have to do with stop fighting yourself so much. Stop fighting the fragile, sensitive parts of yourself so much that maybe need to feel some things and release some things. And it's amazing when we let ourselves do that, how the tension goes. So much of the tension we hold in our bodies is us trying to hold it together and push through. And all these cards are saying, yeah, you're changing. Yeah, you're growing. Yeah, pieces are coming into the mix. So you need to make sure that you are sitting with the parts of yourself that feel overwhelmed or freaked out, so that you can keep allowing these new beautiful things that are connecting to come into the mix. And that's where 10 of Cups, I like that it fell out. I like that it insisted on being in this conversation, because 10 of Cups is such a joyful card, right? This is culmination, fruition, getting to this doorway of joy and accomplishment, and just taking a moment to revel in it, right? Something is coming to full circle, full fruition. And that 10 of Cups makes me think about my original note that I had when I was feeling through your energy, which was that, pieces are coming together, things are coming into alignment. And sometimes it looks and feels a little different than we think it's supposed to look and feel. So we have to take sometimes a moment to really look around and pay attention to those details that are speaking to us and holding us and keeping us with them, right? Now, the liminal dance, this is your oracle card for this reading: delicacy, fragility, transience. And, here obviously is like a stone gateway portal. kind of standing stones, very Celtic kind of vibes going on there. And I think about transience and fragility, and like allowing ourselves to be that is, interestingly enough, such a strong place to live life from, right? And Taurus, I know you all are so capable of getting in there and just making it happen, just riding it out, playing the long game, making sure it happens, putting on those weights and just like pushing forward, pulling it. But I think with that card, the liminal dance, it's like you are allowed to feel your sense of transience. You are allowed to feel your sense of fragility and delicacy as you shift and change forms. And like, you don't have to hold on so tight. It won't make you weaker. It won't make you more of a failure. It won't mean things aren't going to suddenly be there to help you. It's really the opposite, right? So it's just a reminder. I think this reading, it's like, I know you already know this, right? I am not saying anything that is mind-blowing here. And I know you're all very capably aware of all of this, but sometimes like a reminder like this just comes in, and I know I need these reminders all the time. And I think what's going to be interesting about March in general, and this is true for the collective, is that when we let go of holding on tight to how we categorize ourselves, how we do things, who we are in the world, we actually are able to step more into our ability to do things and be who we are in the world. But we have to let go of some of our tension around who we think we've been in the past few years and who we think we need to be right now, and just listen in a little bit more. So you are in a transformative journey. Something is ending, something is closing out, something is coming to conclusion and release. But a lot of other things are also opening up right now. And because of that, it's important to take care of your energy, love on yourselves. I am going to be doing so many fun activations and chats in the month of March over on Patreon. That's where I activate all of the moons, where we talk every single week about the specific transits, because there's a lot going on in March that I'm not able to cover here in our chats. So I'd love to see you there. I'll leave the link for that below. You can also find me on my Instagram. There's only one true Sarah Vrba. I'll leave the handle so you know where to find me. And you can find me on my website and my email. I'd love to see you in any of those places. And I obviously want to see you here. So please stick around and like and subscribe and comment. Let me know how this March is feeling for you and what it feels like to have the North Node in your sign. I would love to hear about that. I'll see you all very, very soon for another chat. You can check out Pink Loon, one of my favorite Tauruses, shop below. And I will talk to you all, in the very near future. Sending you my love.